You think you know the people you live with. You share a bed, you share meals, you share a life. But behind a smile, there can be a secret. And behind a locked basement door, there can be another world entirely. This isn't a ghost story. This is a story about a quiet man named David, his wife Chloe, and the man she thought David would never know about. This is about what happens when a gentle man is pushed past a point he never thought he'd reach. And it all came to a head in a basement. David was the kind of man who faded into the background. Reliable, steady, a software engineer who spoke in code more than conversation. His wife, Chloe, was all light and noise, a vibrant real estate agent who thrived on attention. For years, David thought their opposites attract dynamic worked. He adored her. He built his life around her. He was, as they say, happily oblivious. The cracks started small. Working late became her new normal. Girls' nights out multiplied. Her phone, once left casually on the couch, now never left her hand, and its screen was always tilted away. David wasn't suspicious by nature, but he wasn't a fool. A cold, hollow feeling began to grow in his stomach, a feeling far worse than anger, a dreadful, chilling certainty. He decided to know. One evening, when Chloe was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. A single notification lit up the screen. Not from a client. From Marcus. The message preview was a dagger. Can't wait for Thursday. This time, don't rush off. David's world didn't shatter loudly, it froze over, silent and still. He replaced the phone exactly as it was, his hand steady, his face blank. The man who felt everything was gone. In his place, something else was waking up. He didn't confront her. Instead, he began to plan. He accessed their shared phone bill, finding a pattern of calls and texts to a single number, often when she claimed to be showing houses. A reverse lookup gave him a name, Marcus Boyle. Some digging revealed Marcus wasn't just anyone, he was a mid-level partner at a prestigious law firm, married, with a polished social media feed full of charity galas and family vacations. A man with a reputation to protect. David's engineering mind, used to solving complex problems with elegant code, began working on a different kind of algorithm. A plan of action. Revenge wasn't about a fistfight or a screaming match. It was about consequences. It was about architecture. And David decided to build Marcus a prison of his own making. He started with the basement. It was his domain, a cluttered space of toolboxes, old furniture, and his 3D printing setup. He told Chloe he was starting a new project, a long-term printing job that required soundproofing for the noisy machine. She barely listened, lost in her own secret world. David bought materials. He installed a new, solid-core door with a heavy-duty lock on the inside. He fitted acoustic panels to the walls. To anyone, it looked like a dedicated workshop. But it was becoming something else. Meanwhile, he cultivated Marcus. Using an encrypted messaging app and a burner phone, David created a persona, a disgruntled employee of a rival firm, with fabricated documents suggesting serious financial misconduct at Marcus's firm. He contacted Marcus, offering the evidence for a price. Marcus, arrogant and panicked about his career, took the bait. David insisted the exchange be in person, cash only. He gave an address, a rental property Chloe had listed, currently empty. He knew Marcus would case it, so he made sure to be seen there, wearing a disguise, preparing the location. The night of the supposed exchange, David lured Marcus to the empty house, then sent a last-minute message changing the location to David's own home. He claimed it was safer, off the radar. He said the back basement entry would be open. David then discovered urgent, last-minute work requiring him to be at the office, and told Chloe he'd be gone for hours. He knew she'd call Marcus. He knew Marcus, thinking David was away and seeing a perfect, private opportunity, would come. The trap was set. David parked a street over and watched from the shadows. He saw Marcus's expensive car glide into the driveway. He saw Chloe let him in at the back, near the bulkhead doors. He gave them 10 minutes. 10 minutes to think they were alone, 10 minutes for Marcus to feel secure, 10 minutes for the violation of his home to be complete. Then, David used his key and entered his own house silently. He moved through the darkened kitchen, hearing the faint murmur of voices and laughter from the living room. He didn't go there. He went straight to the basement door, unlocked it, and descended, leaving the door slightly ajar. He waited in the profound quiet of his soundproofed room. Upstairs, he heard Chloe's light footsteps head to the bathroom. Marcus, undoubtedly feeling bold, would be alone for a moment. David sent a single text from his burner to Marcus's phone, basement. Now. Final instructions. Come alone or the deal is off. He saw the beam of a phone flashlight at the top of the stairs. He heard the creak of a step. Marcus, curious and greedy, descended into the dark. Hello? Marcus whispered. David stood behind the door, unseen. The moment Marcus stepped onto the concrete floor, David moved. It wasn't a tackle, it was a directed, forceful push, sending Marcus stumbling into the center of the room. The door slammed shut. The solid thunk of the lock engaging was the loudest sound in the world. Marcus spun around, his phone light sweeping the room, finally landing on David's face, calm and illuminated in the stark beam. What the hell is this? Marcus blustered, trying to summon his courtroom authority. David? Chloe's David? Let me out of here immediately, you idiot. David didn't speak. He simply walked to a small table and turned on a single, bright LED work lamp, pointing it at Marcus. Then he picked up a remote and pressed a button. A projector flickered on, casting a large, clear image on the white acoustic wall. It was a compiled slideshow. The first image was the text message preview David had seen. Then call logs. Then screenshots of Marcus's own social media, his smiling family. Then photos David had taken of them together, entering the rental property. You have 5 minutes, David said, his voice unnervingly calm, to call your wife. On speakerphone. You will tell her everything. About you and Chloe. About the attempted cover-up. About where you are right now. Marcus laughed, a shaky, contemptuous sound. Or what? You'll beat me up? I'll have you arrested and sue you for everything you have, which isn't much. David pressed another button. The projection changed. It showed a live feed of David's own living room, where Chloe was now pacing, waiting for Marcus to return. The audio crackled to life. They could hear her humming nervously. Option B, David continued, monotone. I go upstairs right now. I tell Chloe you confessed everything, that you're making the call to your wife to end it. I show her this feed, proving you were here, in our house, while I was supposedly away. She'll believe me, because she's a coward. She'll turn on you to save herself. Your affair will still explode, but you'll also look like a pathetic fool who got caught and threw her under the bus. Either way, your life is over tonight. He picked up a second burner phone and held it out. But if you make the call, you control the narrative. You show remorse. You might, maybe, salvage a shred of your marriage or your career. The evidence I've compiled on your firm's dummy server will disappear. If you don't, it gets emailed to every partner, and to the state bar, at sunrise. Marcus's defiance crumbled. The sight of his own double life projected on the wall, the live feed of his lover, the terrifying, calm logic of the man in front of him, it was an inescapable box. He was in a soundproof basement, his fate already coded and executed. He took the phone. The call was the most brutal part. David listened, impassive, as Marcus, voice-breaking, confessed to his weeping wife. He named Chloe. He admitted to the deceit. He begged, he sobbed, he unraveled completely under the glare of the work light. David recorded it all. When it was done, Marcus was a broken man slumped on the concrete. David walked to the door, unlocked it, and pointed upstairs. Leave. Your wife is waiting for you at home. I suggest you go. Marcus stumbled up the stairs and out into the night, his perfect life in ashes. David then walked into the living room. Chloe stared at him, her face pale. She'd heard nothing from the soundproof basement, but she saw David's expression, and she knew. He didn't yell. He simply played a clip of Marcus's confession on his phone. Then he said, "Pack a bag. You need to be gone by morning. The divorce papers will be drawn up on the principle of irreconcilable differences. If you contest them, if you try to take a single thing more than what the law minimally requires, this recording, and all the evidence, goes public." She left, shell-shocked. David sat alone in the quiet house. He didn't feel triumph. He felt a vast, empty quiet. He had not thrown a single punch. He had not raised his voice. But in his basement, with cold precision, he had dismantled 2 lives. He had not sought revenge through violence, but through truth, engineered to be inescapable. The basement wasn't a dungeon of pain, it was a courtroom he had built, where he was the judge, the jury, and the architect of consequences. And the sentence he delivered was the one cheaters fear most, not a moment of anger, but a lifetime of facing exactly what they'd done.